coach believes that Riley McGree is ready to have a big night. Somewhat remarkably, he's never tasted success against the Glory. No goals against them, no wins either. The 45th meeting between these two clubs. Adelaide with the edge, 18 wins to 15. Think back to that epic final between these two teams last season when the goalkeepers made a stack of penalty saves in that amazing shootout. Liam Reddy was the hero in the end, helping his team through to the grand final. And think back to his A-League debut. It was opening night. Robbie Slater was there and Carl Veert was there as well. The Adelaide United coach scored the first ever A-League goal past Liam Reddy on that night. He's now 50 years of age and in charge of the team for the first time over the last month or so. Paul Izzo right into Socceroos calculations, the form that he's in right now, and that great initiative as well, raising money for the Childhood Cancer Association with every save. He's made a stack of them on return, most notably in that win over Brisbane. So teams in position, ready to go on a must-win night for Adelaide United. And the Reds get the ball rolling. Robbie Slater alongside for the call. Should be another exciting night.
It certainly is, and the pressure is on Adelaide here. They need a win. Western United got games, a lot of games on them. After this, they'll only have 2 to go, so they need a win. And they're a team that either wins or loses pretty much. They got their first draw of the season against Wellington. Apart from that, they've got 10 wins and 12 losses, so they're either on or they're off normally. But they're going to run out of games if they don't get a win here this evening, you would think.
Big up and under. Who wants this one? Meredith able to put his head on it, and it breaks the way of Kilkenny, who thought D'Agostino might have been moving in behind. Awkward bouncing ball for Kiddo to deal with. Fired back in by Ingham, who's in goal-scoring form, of course, coming from the left-hand side. Tonight he's coming from the right. He's in behind, and a ricochet onto the side netting. An early corner for the Glory.
Yeah, the first attack, and already Kilkenny pulling the strings. The first ball over the top. Didn't really deal with it, Kiddo. The bounce was awkward. This one he plays in behind. That's an important intervention. Bit
of banter on the club website during the week. Alex Grant saying, is there any danger Neil Kilkenny can get his balls in from these corners right? Can he pick out Grant on this occasion? Kenny looking for him. Grant rises, and so too did Jacob Tratt. He wasn't too far away from providing the pinpoint delivery that time, the killer. Good head of hair he's got going as well.
He certainly has.
Bit of a renaissance in that area. Might have to chat to him. And that also was the topic of a bit of brevity on the club website this week. Here's how close they are on the ladder. Perth with a game in hand on the Reds. If they win tonight, they're just about secure finals football. Another battle for D'Agostino v Kiddo. Played it well.
Well, it was a similar ball from Kilkenny. This time Kiddo deals with it a lot better. Able to keep possession.
And misplaced pass by the teenager, making a third straight start, Taras Gamulka. Keeping Luis Dorigo out of the side right now. He's been pretty impressive so far. Popovic just left it behind. And Strain earns the throw. They've been under the pump in the opening few minutes. A little debate. The referee points the way of Adelaide United. Last touch off Popovic. Strain couldn't keep that one in. Meredith, former Socceroo, playing the left wing-back role. Ivan Franjic, another in the veteran category, dropping out tonight, so that's why Ingham's on the right side. Kilkenny. And to Aussie Malik, who had a couple of stints as an Adelaide United player. Grant to Meredith. Cross came Gamulka. Committed the foul. Taken quickly by the Glory. Hyundai back to Meredith. Early service for Fornaroli, trying to roll his man. Oh, he's in amongst 4 Reds, able to recycle by the Spaniard Hyundai. Kilkenny, what a classy ball that is. Into space for Ingham. Adelaide United defending very deep here. Almost the line of 7.
Yeah, really good start from Perth, moving the ball quickly.
It's going to stay in. Well weighted by Grant. 1-2 between Popovic and Meredith. Christian Popovic, that is, back to Grant, and worked it out for Meredith, who stumbled just as he was going to play Popovic back in behind. It's bailed out by the whistle. Lachlan Brook didn't think he did a whole lot wrong.
I think you're right. You can do a whole lot wrong. A bit soft. Gives Kilkenny a pretty good position to have an in-swinger coming here into the box.
Away. Hyundai keeps it in that attacking third. Malik, decent delivery, but Izzo able to snatch that out of the sky. Rolls it out relatively quickly. Some of his teammates were looking for a bit of a breather already. Was a lot more satisfied with their first half performance defensively against Wellington after they were under so much relentless pressure against the Brisbane Roar. And this is for the foul on Riley McGree, given by Stephen Lucas, the man in charge tonight.
And it's the first time they advance into Perth territory.
Decent ball into the corner as well. Came from Kiddo, who now delivers, and Meredith talked through it by Liam Reddy. Great communication between a couple of veterans there to let that one sail. Down on the sideline tonight, Mark Bosnich, what are you making of these opening exchanges? Boz's mic turned up in a moment. Here's D'Agostino. To Trass. Again, Adelaide United in that defensive shape. Tony Popovic in his pre-match press conference spoke about how well organised they were under Carl Veart the other night. Going to be hard to break down. But here's Ingham. Decent touch. Open up the angle for the shot. Might have another go. Tees up Meredith instead. The wing-backs combining. And he tried to wriggle his way past one too many there.
Well, they somehow got out of that, Adelaide. Just wouldn't sit for him. Ingham as he cut inside, and that last touch just took it a little bit away. They scrambled well, Adelaide. But Perth looking very, very dangerous and very sharp. In behind, that's twice they've got him behind down there. And then just that touch took it away. Thought about another strike, and then Meredith just got stuck between his feet, and they scrambled it away.
Here you go, Adelaide out of nowhere, coming together, shoulder to shoulder. Wow, I thought it was shoulder to shoulder between the two number 8s, James Meredith and Riley McGree, but the referee says that's a free kick and a booking.
Yeah, look, looking at that, I thought Riley McGree was already falling. I think he knows he's probably lost this ball. Looks a bit harsh to me. shoulder on shoulder.
And Christian Opseth, a striker in form. 3 in his past 4 games. The winner against Brisbane, the opener against Wellington. And this is the kind of set piece that was on his highlight reel when he came down under. He's capable of smashing these in. And he was the Norwegian First Division top scorer in 2017. We had a few of these on the show reel. There's some tall timber in that wall if he wants to go over. Liam Reddy waits. Opseth tried to go under and couldn't fire the follow-up shot back in. Neat move from Brook. Showed too much to Hyundai though. What about that adventurous lift to D'Agostino? And a little nibble at D'Agostino by Kiddo. And the referee blows the whistle again.
Didn't look like he touched him. Am I seeing right, or?
I think you are. So the opening 10 minutes have ticked by, and space in behind here, well found, was Fornaroli. Referee takes a tumble. Meredith trying to get to the byline to deliver. Double ricochet back out off him. So now we can take 2 with Bozza.
Good evening, Brenton. Good evening, Robbie, and good evening to everybody at home. Wonderful start by Perth. Always a good sign when a team have 2 win-backs in their starting lineup, and you can see them starting their starting points in the midfield. They've been on the front foot right from the outset, but they've got to be careful still. When you're playing against the likes of Riley McGree and Ben Halloran, you've always got to be concentrating. And just another quick word as well for everyone that tomorrow is the 3rd anniversary of Les Murray's passing, so we just obviously want to send all our sympathies and condolences to his family, and hopefully he's watching on from above.
Well, I'm sure he is, and he's in good company with his big mate Johnny Warren, and I can't believe that's 3 years, but yeah, just echoing those sentiments to Les's family.
Izzo spraying one out. Meredith best to react to it. Fornaroli can settle for the throw. Good action early on for James Meredith and his return to the starting lineup. Former Millwall and Bradford City man. Teed up for that early chance by Dane Ingham, who plays with such swagger, doesn't he? Perth really pressing here. That 8-day break has allowed them to work on their fitness and their shape, and they're hungry tonight. You can see it. By Moore. Lifting the legs of Grant. Risky pass from Popovich, picked off by Opseth. McGree trying to get goal side in between a couple. Fabulous endeavour by Riley McGree. Not many get through a gap like that. Soft defending, some might say.
Yeah, well, he looked second best and somehow squeezed through 2 central defenders.
Tony Popovich will show the boys that one on the highlight reel and say, how did you let this happen? Straying back to Izzo. Plenty of football at Bank West, but this playing surface holding up beautifully.
And the pace is really good. Sorry, Speedy. The tempo's good, as it's been the theme of all the games, really.
Ball given against Kilkenny when he was on the deck. Just about to say Adelaide United have been in 4 hotels in 11 days, and we can have a look at how Riley McGree Found a way through this passage. Shoved them aside. Open the elevator doors. Oh, a little nibble. Penalty! Jacob Tratt gave away a spot kick the other night, and Stephen Lucas was 5 metres away. Saw it coming together between the legs of Tratt and Ben Halloran, and he had no hesitation. Wow.
Well, he sees it, and you don't really need to engage there. Yeah, he touches him on the back of the leg. You don't need to get that close because he's going away from the goal. There is contact. And Stephen Lucas, no hesitation. I think it was more clumsy than anything else.
Riley McGree, and saved by Reddy. He broke Adelaide United hearts in the shootout in last year's finals. And Riley McGree has still yet to score against the Perth Glory.
I wonder if that was in the back of his mind, that stat you brought up, because that was a poor penalty. A real tame effort from Riley McGree, and Reddy, credit him, of course. He had to pick the right way to go, and he did.
What a moment from Liam Reddy in A-League game number 302 to stop Riley McGree like that. Ticked the right way, and in the end it was a very comfortable save, and many will say it's justice after the spot kick that was awarded. Mark Bosnich, how did you see it all?
Yeah, I thought it was a very harsh penalty to give. I understand that he clipped the back of his leg, but it was just a clip. But this was a fantastic save. Just watch him here on his line, just waits, and it goes at the right time. Very important for goalkeepers. A lot of players, and Robbie will tell you this, when they're going up to take a penalty kick, will have their half an eye, if you like, on seeing where the goalkeeper is. As their eyes go down to strike the ball, if they see that the goalkeeper hasn't moved, it just puts a little extra pressure on them. And then once their head goes down, if the goalkeeper can move, it's very difficult for them to change their mind. That's the second penalty we've seen saved at this end.
Absolutely. The other night it was Ulysses Davila coming up empty-handed, of course. To chase for McGree again, and Tratt takes no chances, doesn't let it come into the box this time, pokes it out for the corner.
Well, his pace and his runs, little diagonal runs, that one more of a straight run, and his pace is certainly worrying that back three. And he'll still have that penalty miss in the back of his mind. It's the job for him now to forget about it. It's done, move on. I just don't think when you hit it with a lot of confidence. But as Bozza said, take nothing away. Reddy had to choose the right way, and it was a fine save.
In swinging corner, and Reddy will pluck that one as well. Offset that was coasting in at that far post. Rolled out to Grant. Those two are rooming together. Grant and Reddy. Manchester-born Alex Grant. He was the trivia master in the quiz night this week for the Glory at their team base. He was a bit underprepared as the quizmaster though, Robbie, because we wound up being a tie. He didn't have any tiebreaker question up his sleeve.
It's ridiculous. Could have a winner. That was unnecessary from Stefan Moore.
Free kick taken quickly. Fornaroli blocked off by Strain. Osama Malik has only ever scored 2 A-League goals and never looked likely there.
That was a clever free kick though. And that's where Fornaroli loves to get the ball back to goal, inside the penalty box. And see what he's trying to do, just shift it to the right and try and bend that to the far post, but it's a good block in the end. But a little bit too easy. They didn't have a screener. Did not allow that ball to be played into the feet of Fornaroli. You're just asking for trouble, allowing him to get the ball in that position in the penalty box.
And he is again shielding it away. The Uruguayan went to the voice of Meredith, and reading it was Jakobsen. flimsy offside. Back to that penalty shootout last year. Craig Goodwin was successful for Adelaide United. So too was Jordan Elsey, who's out there tonight. He took pen number 2. Vince Leah, the veteran. And Isaias had his penalty save. Ben Halloran, another man who's out there. He scored past Liam Reddy. And Riley McGree wasn't involved that night, of course. But he stepped up tonight and was easy pickings for Liam Reddy. All the players on this side of the pitch. It breaks kindly for McGree. Brought up a bit of a divot there. A blemish on this billiard table-like surface. Oh, 50-50 invited by the ball there. And Meredith is on a yellow card, of course. And Strain does him a favour by getting up relatively quickly.
He gets up, he's lucky. And I tell you, Stefan Mork is lucky as well, because he played him a real hospital ball there.
Meredith was second to it. Got to watch his step. He looks like a player that's a little rusty. James Meredith. Kept in, no, not quite by Grant. It's an Adelaide United throw. Second ball was still on the pitch. Nice try from Stefan Mork, but the other ball was still on its way off. And Stephen Lucas is in kind of mood tonight to make sure all those I's are dotted and the T's are crossed.
They need to get this man into the game a little bit more. It's very right-sided from Adelaide. Halloran operating on the left-hand side.
Kitto. Away by Ingham. Pretty effective clearance too. On the outside of the boot. Sustained possession for Adelaide United this time. Perth looking to push out by D'Agostino. There's space in behind here. And execute the pass towards Stefan Mork, who'd taken up a nice position. Here's Brook. Lovely quick feet. Back starts in the A-League for the first time for him. That Gawler connection. Now Halloran back to Brook, who's yet to score an A-League goal. He's shown his eye for goal at young Socceroos level, though. Now Kiddo. Charged down. A good enough effect by Ingham.
That's good play from Gamulka. And you ask why, it's because he didn't allow that ball to bounce. He allows the ball to bounce and Kilkenny's got a chance. A good play from the youngster.
He's played for a number of junior clubs in the city of Churches, including Adelaide City and Metro Stars. A lot of coaches during that run, and he's praised each and every one of them for helping hone his game to reach this level. And real South Australian connection in this team as well. Free kick taken from the wrong spot. Stephen Lucas going to pull that one back. Midway through the first half. Already a fairly eventful evening. No goals as yet. That's because Liam Reddy saved a spot kick from Riley McGree, who's ghosted in behind here. Little nutmeg on Ingham. Looking to make amends for the tame penalty kick. Keeps on moving, Riley McGree. That time Ingham was able to win it back. Foot race between Kitto and D'Agostino. It's a Reds throw again. D'Agostino didn't agree with that one.
It's good play from Riley McGree. He's making those runs in beyond, and it's causing them problems. It's stretching the Perth Glory defence. Didn't really come off for him, but he keeps making those runs at will.
That time Trapp first to it. Sloppy pass from Halloran. Malik made a nice angle there to make the pass easy for Trapp. And now they're out. Meredith can push on. Formeroli to lay it off to Popovic. Got the shout of Opseth just in time. Nice little manoeuvre to slip it through the big striker's legs. And Kilkenny. Patience on display from Perth after absorbing that period of pressure. Ingham only knows one way. Looking to make something happen. Still Dane Ingham, clever little ball, and he might be able to keep on rolling. Agostino able to keep it alive. Kilkenny. And out comes Izzo.
Great balance. Brilliant touch from Lachlan Brook. Under pressure from Alex Grant. And credit to him. Tracks back, and Brook shouldn't have allowed him to get that ball. But the initial touch as the ball came to him was brilliant.
Time one day took it off the bootlaces of Lachlan Brook. Meredith in space again. Carl Viet with some coaching on the run, as you can see. Pointing out to Lachlan Brook where he should be in this formation. Meredith again, took it on the half volley, took Izzo out of play that time. Now he's in the equation after Jakobsen's touch.
Yeah, well, neither Fornaroli or D'Agostino attacking the ball. That was a wicked cross from James Meredith. Couldn't ask more of Meredith there with that delivery. He deserves someone attacking it.
Oh, that was a half chance. Play a first-time ball over the top. Mork has a second crack at it. Keeps it in play for Riley McGree, trying to use that trademark speed of his, and forces a corner.
He's stretching Trapp down that right-hand side. That's where he's preferring to operate at the moment. Backed his speed. He certainly has the speed on Trapp, but not by that distance. But after Perth dominating that first opening period, Adelaide have come back into the game. Much more even at the moment.
Driven in by Kamorka, and the header is in. Adelaide United do take the lead. It's a rare goal from Michael Jakobsen. What about the delivery from the teenager Taras Kamorka? Take a bow. The kind of set-piece delivery you're after in the middle, and the 18-year-old provides it.
Super corner. So difficult to defend. It's got pace, it's got tail, it's flat as well. And all you need is someone with the ability to attack that ball. And Jakobsen was the hungrier of everyone, and that's a super ball from a set piece. And Jakobsen attacks it and gets his goal.
Nice technique from the coach as well, Carl Viet, who famously headed home the winner against Arsenal in an FA Cup tie for Sheffield United. Of course, the Gunners in the FA Cup final this weekend. Carl Viet knocked them out in 1996. And this time it's Jakobsen heading home. Just his third A-League goal. He's closing in on 100 games in this competition. And the big Dane couldn't miss once he got connection with a beautiful ball from Taras Kamorka. Tell you what, the way he hits a ball, he'll be lining up to take spot kicks after what happened earlier. So that's got to settle the team down, doesn't it, Robbie, when you miss a penalty and you still take the lead?
Well, we just said that they've certainly come more into the game. I think McGree's had a large part to do with that, with his deep runs from midfield in beyond. And it was from one of his runs that corner, of course, was won. Jacob Tratt having to play it out, and the result is a goal.
And it was a corner forced by Riley McGree as well. And now another sloppy turnover. Opseth opens up the angles. He'll turn provider. Lachlan Brook has his first A-League goal. He should really be thanking Christian Opseth for it, but he wants to celebrate with his fellow young guns amongst the substitutes. Well, what a 2-minute period for Adelaide United. How big could this result be as they chase that finals berth?
Well, Tony Popovic will be absolutely livid. They lose the ball here. That's a sloppy pass. Cut out by Opseth. Now look at this. He's got a chance to take it on himself. A perfect pass. He just has to slow down a little bit. But I tell you what, that finish, he makes it look easy, but that is top draw. Because that's not that easy to hit. That's a super finish from young Lachlan Brook. Great setup from Opseth and a clinical finish from Brook.
Well, he made his A-League debut as a 16-year-old in 2018. And it's just his 6th appearance tonight, so he's had to be patient waiting for opportunities. Carl Viet provides him with back-to-back starts, and now he has his maiden A-League goal. Well, what a little purple patch it has been for Adelaide United, Mark Bosnich.
But no less than they deserved. Like you said, and Robbie said it as well, it was a good start from Perth, but really from the 10-15 minute mark, it has been all Adelaide. And it's ironic, really, because in their first 2 games, they started off really well, Adelaide, played some fantastic football, and then sort of went into their shell, if you like, and had to rely on Paul Izzo. Well, tonight's been quite the opposite. And they're causing Perth all sorts of problems with playing Riley McGree a little bit further forward. And if you watch very, very closely, you've got Opseth who's coming into that false 9 position, and then Riley McGree is making that run in behind those static defenders. And Perth Glory at this moment in time don't know whether or not to put an extra midfielder to bring him back for one day on him, or to have one of the 3 centre-backs picking him up, and it's causing them all sorts of problems. But their general play is excellent as well. Some really lovely football.
On course for win number 11 this season. Lose tonight and they would be a sitting duck in 6th spot. Win and they're going to make it hard for others to play catch-up. Perth looking to hit back now. Meredith, they're happy to give him space out on this side. What can he do with it? Late run being made by Popovic, and Strain is up for the challenge. Hyundai. Nice little trick from the Spaniard. Malik. Popovic making the run, tracked by Strain. Into the back went Stephen Mork, and Fornaroli accepted the invitation. 2 former Melbourne City teammates there. Kenny takes this one quickly. Only D'Agostino to hit in the box. Late run coming from Ingham. Which popping up on that right-hand side now. Tratt's delivery. D'Agostino to rise. Great keeping from Paul Izzo, commanding his area. Flew out late to get there ahead of D'Agostino.
He's at the top of his game, Paul Izzo. There's no doubt about that.
Well, Neil Kilkenny convinced the referee that that wasn't a foul. Carl Beard is fuming. There's the experience of Neil Kilkenny. Appeared to catch Mork and let the referee know there was no contact. And he said, yep, you're right, play on. Now he's got a chance here. All the way through, brilliant ball, and Perth pull one back. The flag stays down, and it's Christian Popovic doing it for Dad Tony. And pulling Perth out of a hole. But there'll be some controversy here about the free kick not awarded to Adelaide United. And Neil Kilkenny took full toll.
And Adelaide fell asleep because Popovic in acres of space. At first glance, it looked like surely he must be offside. But so it'll be interesting to see the replay. Kilkenny, there's the foul that's not given. And from that, the play went on. Kilkenny will get the ball back. And he sort of half hits this. Popovic with a really cool and calm finish. and he looks towards the referee's assistant because he's thinking, am I offside? Well, no, now.
Tight run thing, no VAR, of course, and well done by the assistant
no
to say,
problem with that.
Give the advantage to the attacking team.
And that was so important for Perth to hit back quickly like that. But the referee has been giving everything. All of a sudden didn't give what looked like a pretty clear foul on Stephen Moore.
It's always eventful when Stephen Lucas is the man in the middle, and I think A-League fans rejoice because you don't know what's going to happen. That's 3 goals in 6 minutes. What about this A-League action on your Thursday night? Live from Bank West, it's game on again. Going to be a jam-packed half-time show with Tara and Bozza, plenty to get through.
Oh, come on, there's plenty of time for more goals.
Here's Elsey. They called his name all night. Moore saw his reaction when he didn't get the whistle. Absolutely startled that Stephen Lucas kept the whistle out of his mouth.
There was still a lot to go before that goal, though, and they fell asleep. Allowed Christian Popovich just to ghost him behind.
Perth have clocked off on Brook here. They went to McGree, and they lost a bit of momentum in the attack, but still a chance to rebuild it. Strain. McGree tried the nutmeg on one day. He was having none of it. Back to McGree. Space in the middle for the goal scorer, Lachlan Brook. He's got some composure and some swagger about the way he goes about it too. Slices one to Opseth, who was trying to tee it up for Mork that time. Spring in the step of the Perth players after pulling one back.
Well, there's so much energy from both teams. I was speaking to Tony Popovich about half an hour, 45 minutes before the game. He's saying how much the players are enjoying playing in these kind of conditions, and all the games are really fast.
Well, D'Agostino reacted nicely, and now he'll try and bend it, and Izzo prevents the corner. Crucial block perhaps by McGree.
Yeah, he's everywhere, McGree.
It's that man Brook again. Mark Bosnich, what do you make of this Paul Izzo form at the moment?
Well, he's been absolutely outstanding. There's no doubt about that. He's actually been one of the most outstanding players since the restart, whether it be outfield or goalkeeper or what. And he's the type of goalkeeper that when he's playing at his best.
Stand by, Bozza. Here's a chance for the Reds again. And they get a corner out of it. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem whatsoever. Very good block there. And just to say as well, what another entertaining game that we have. But back to Paul Izzo. When he's playing at his best, I don't think there's no one better in the A-League. He's just as good as anyone. And that goes as well in terms of Australian goalkeepers, if you're talking about from the international perspective. It's just a matter of, because his standards are so high, sometimes when he dips below, it's a little bit more noticeable than others. But like I said, he's been absolutely outstanding since the restart.
Graham Arnold will be keeping a close eye on him. Gamulka. Decent delivery again, ready, forced the punch. Here comes Opseth, and Adelaide United restore their 2-goal buffer. Liam Reddy is on his backside saying, how did that happen? Gamulka's delivery caused pandemonium again, and Opseth has another goal.
Well, I told you there was plenty of time to go for goals. In this one, Opseth just strong on the second phase. Reddy comes at it, and it's another very good ball in from Gamulka, and there's a lot of bodies there, and Reddy can't get to it. In fact, the Adelaide players looked favourite to get to that. Riley McGree was there, and Opseth just gets up higher, and he's stronger than Meredith. And Tony Popovich will be livid. 2 set pieces, 2 Adelaide goals.
Everyone's going, well, that's going to be a pretty comfortable save for the goalkeeper, but not when you fall over. And when I arrived tonight, the only blemish on the Bankwest surface is in that goal in that 6-yard area, Mark Bosnich, and that's where he stumbled, Liam Reddy.
Yes, he did stumble, but he'll be terribly disappointed with that, as will the coaching staff. Look, magnificent ball in once again by Gomoko. See, when you put that really whipped-in delivery, how dangerous it is for teams. But once Reddy punches it and it goes in the air for some time, he has to come and get that second ball in the air, because he can use his hands. Players can't. It's in the air. It's only about 2 or 3 meters away. He should have come and got that, or even punched that. Then unfortunately, with the slip, it's sort of like, you could say, he's popped the balloon a little bit of Perth. And here go Adelaide again.
Opseth kept it going for Brooke, who's blocked off by Mullock. Ball and all challenge.
And favoured to come in on his left foot there. The youngster's got to back himself on the right.
Now the glory in transition. Ingham looking for Fornaroli. And too close to Izzo. Tell you what, it wasn't a bad-looking ball off the boot. Trying to bend it all the way across the face towards the Uruguayan striker. He was getting goal side as well, wasn't he? So 4 goals in the opening 40 minutes here. It was 0-0, 26 minutes in. So plenty of action in the last 15 minutes. We've had a missed penalty as well in this half. Adelaide United could have had 4 goals. Late, hefty challenge by Stephen Moore.
So here's Gomulka, 2 hands raised. Really good ball again, and there is the slip. Because if he doesn't slip, well, what Boz is saying is he wouldn't have slipped if he'd come for the ball. Once that ball goes up in the air, he's saying he should come because he can use his hands, and he's 100% right. But when he doesn't come for it, if he doesn't slip, he probably saves that.
Meredith, and Izzo will claim again. And D'Agostino went underneath him, caught the goalkeeper, and checks on his welfare as well. Should be okay. The whistle was blown, though.
Izzo commanding again. Well, it's one you expect him to take, but still, see the way he takes it, full of confidence.
I mentioned the playing surface maybe being a contributing factor to the Reddy slip, but I think he treads on the foot of Jacob Tratt, and that's what causes the stumble. And that's why Opseth is able to head it into an empty net.
Well, I can go down there, Speedy. You know, I can inspect things close to the goal line.
At that end.
There we go again. So there he gets the punch. Now, there if he comes forward, but he decides to stay back. And there's the slip. And Opseth just too strong for Meredith. And what about the form he's in? 3 games, 3 goals now.
Stephen Mork, in a chat with Adam Peacock on the Fox Football podcast, said how much of a breath of fresh air it has been to play under Carl Veer compared to the previous coach, Herchan Verbeek. And it's showing here tonight, isn't it? Halloran picks up a booking, though, for a naughty challenge on Neil Kilkenny. The referee's not going to allow that free kick to be taken that quick. Oh, yes. Every right to go into the book there. Now Grant can execute the diagonal. Tough night for Jacob Tratt so far, giving away a spot kick and then playing a part in his goalkeeper being bowled over. Corner rolling. Elsie stepped up. And now Fornaroli to face towards goal and trying to kill a ball. Ingham showing the tricks to Kitto. Able to shepherd that one out. Played it coolly in the end at Kitto. Not many saw this scoreline coming, especially after 25 minutes tonight, Robbie Slater.
Certainly not. And Perth will be wondering, after such a dominant start to the game, and it didn't last, you know, it was 10, 12 minutes. but they were really in the groove early, and Adelaide just got themselves back into the game. And like you said, they had a missed penalty as well. So defensively, Perth have been poor, and that's very unlike a Tony Popovich coach side.
And they had one day as one of those 3 centre-halves the other night, then they pushed him into midfield and brought Trad on at half-time. He gave up a spot kick in that game too. Rowley commits the foul this time. I wonder if Popovich and his backroom staff are thinking about any changes at the break in this one. Any that you'd be anticipating, Robbie?
Well, he's got so much experience on there. You've got Franich, Elrich, you've got Leah, you've got Brimmer.
Closing in on half-time.
And the Adelaide midfielders have done well. That opening period, Ingham and Meredith were very high and wide, coming up against Strain and Kiddo. They'd be outnumbered in the midfield, but Mork, Gamulka, to a lesser extent McGree, have helped out a great deal.
Here they go again into the area, and the deflection, make it 4. Ben Halloran plays it off the Perth Glory defender. Liam Reddy helpless again, and can you believe it? 4-1. Heading into half-time for Adelaide United with their season virtually on the line tonight. Haven't they responded?
Well, it's far too easy. And it's down this left-hand side. That's where most of the problems have come. He just goes in. It's a big deflection off Malik. Gives Reddy no chance. But look at the ease. Osbeth turns. Halloran's on his way. And he just strides into the penalty box. He's looking for the far corner there, but he gets a deflection off Malik. That gives his goalkeeper no chance. That's not good enough from Perth. And I think they're in for a bit of a roasting in half-time.
We'll give the goal to Ben Halloran. Not sure whether it was on target or not before it struck Osama Malik.
I'd say that 100% was. So it'll go down as his goal, but far too loose.
Into 2 minutes of stoppage time. We don't want this first half to end with all the action we've seen so far, but there's one man who does, Liam Reddy. And Tony Popovich ready to read the riot act, the pair of them. Reddy won't be shy inside the dressing room, you wouldn't have thought.
Now, it's one of those problems again where Perth with their back 3. You see Opseth dropping off the line there into the space behind. That's going to be too hard from Kilkenny. So really got 3 players not picking anyone up, and you know, they think they're comfortable. They've got a lot of pace, Adelaide. Halloran, Brook on the right side, McGree through the middle, of course. And by the time they're trying to react, it's too late because they've got players running all over the top of them.
We showed those banners pre-game, didn't we? You can still see it throughout the game. Eugene Galekovic, who's part of the coaching staff, of course, holding that championship trophy in 2016. Adelaide United, great success in FFA Cups since then as well. But the fans back in Adelaide must be pinching themselves right now, Robbie. What a night for them watching on back home.
Brilliant. Yeah, and they're probably a little bit worried, as we said, the first 10 to 12 minutes. But they've been superb since.
Now we're up in arms about the throw not going their way. It doesn't matter. The half-time whistle sounds and Liam Reddy head down, as many of his Perth Glory teammates have as well. What a stunning blitz from Adelaide United. They've had less time to prepare for this game, but it did not show. Christian Opseth again amongst the goals. He was setting them up as well, putting it on a plate for young Lachlan Brook to score his first A-League goal. Michael Jakobsen scored just the 3rd of his career down under in this competition. At the break, a quite staggering scoreline. Adelaide United 4, Perth Glory 1. Let's get down to Tara.
Yeah, thanks so much, Speedy. Well, who would have seen that coming, Bozza? I don't think you or I would have seen that coming. And just when it looked like Perth had gotten themselves back in the game, Adelaide United and Christian Opseth had other ideas.
One word for Adelaide, devastating. And we said it at the start, even though Perth had started so well, when you've got Halloran, when you've got McGree in the side, they're always a danger. Well, they started to find a way to make sure they could utilise the 2 of them. And what was happening was Opseth was up front on his own, a lot of times against the 3 centre-backs, so obviously they're being outnumbered. This is the first goal. Well, sorry, it wasn't actually. You're right. This is the other goal when Liam Reddy slipped over. But absolutely, this is coming back to the opposite situation. So he's playing against the 3 centre-backs. He's coming into that false line positions, laying it off, and then you've got Riley McGree, you've got Ben Halloran, Ryan Brook to a lesser extent, running in behind, and it's absolutely devastating Perth. And you're exactly right. A really good goal from Christian Popovic back in the game, but now they've got a real problem on their hands. They're going to have to change things around to get back into this game.
Yeah, Adelaide United well and truly diminished that, and we saw the Perth Glory players. They walked very slowly off the pitch. You can see a really tough team talk coming at half-time. We are off to a short break, though, live from Bankwest Stadium. We'll be on the other side. We've got a host full of goals to get through. Adelaide United, though, what a result. What a lead they're in so far. 4-1 over Perth Glory. We'll see you very soon.
That header when who hit the header in when he slipped over?
Opseth.
Opseth, yeah. Jakobsen got the first.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, it only happened when I went on air.
And the
I was
second
like,
from Brook.
One. So Reds. Wait. Thursday night football has dished up an absolute goal rush between Adelaide United and Perth Glory. 4-1 the score as both teams head into half-time. And you can see there, a save penalty from Liam Reddy means that it could have actually been 5-1 to Adelaide United. Welcome back, Tara Rushton. It's great to have your company and to be joined by Mark Bosnich. Well, what a first half, Bozza, from Adelaide United.
Like I said, absolutely devastating, and ironically so. In their first two games, they started off really quick. Against Brisbane, they scored in the 5th minute, and they started off really well, and then dropped back, and then ended up relying on Paul Izzo. Exactly the same against Wellington. Started off playing football really well, lost it a little bit, and then Paul Izzo come to the rescue. This time it was the other way around. It was Perth Glory who started off really, really well. Then all of a sudden, they unsettled them, and the unsettlement come from the fact of the way that they were playing. This is where Carl Veer and his coaching staff deserve a lot of credit. Ospeth coming off into that false 9 position, and Perth Glory not dealing with the runners coming in behind.
Fantastic
Wonderful,
first goal from Lockie Brook.
Absolutely fantastic goal that was. And these corners from Gumluka have been absolutely fantastic, causing all sorts of problem. That was a really bad goal to give away. That made it 3-1, and then another goal before the break as well. And of course, obviously, we had the penalty save, or else it would have been 5-1. Now, look, this is going to sound really, really silly, but this is exactly the way that Perth Glory are going to have to think. We can still get back in this. We saw them get back into it once with the goal from Christian Popovic. We can get back into it. How are we going to do it? Well, first and foremost, he has to make a change. They need to go at 4 at the back. Okay, one of those 3 centre-backs need to come off. All they need is 4 at the back. One of the reasons is because of what Ospeth is doing. I just need 2 against 1. And they've got to make sure whoever's going to be the holding midfielder is either going to have to go off the runner, or if one of those centre-backs come off with Ospeth,
yep.
Okay, the other centre-back is going to have to make sure he tracks McGree, Halloran, or to a lesser extent Brook on the other side. Whether or not he goes and shakes him up a little bit in the front and midfield, I don't know, but that definitely has to occur, or else at this moment in time, it looks as though every time Adelaide attack, they're going to score.
Very, very true. Those 3 causing Perth Glory all sorts of trouble. We spoke about him then, Christian Popovic, with his goal. We thought, okay, it is game on.
Yep.
It wasn't to be, but a great effort from him off Neil Kilkenny.
Absolutely fantastic finish, and really good decision as well from the assistant referee. But that was a fantastic finish. Great first touch, as you see here. Ball, I think, into him, got a little bit of deflection there of Halloran. But that's the goal, and we're all thinking, okay, they're right back in it right now as it stands. But that man there has got a massive job to do at half-time. This is where managers really earn their corn.
Looking at Perth Glory, you spoke about what they're going to have to do from a defensive point of view, but what are they going to have to do up front? Because looking at their chances, Bruno Fornaroli quiet, James Meredith giving a little bit of service down the left-hand side, Popovic looking the most likely, Nick D'Agostino a bit quiet as well, Boz.
Well, look, listen, they started off by far the better team. For the first 10 to 15 minutes, they were by far the better team. One of the keys to that was James Meredith on one side and Dane Ingham on the other, going into midfield and creating overloads and them having dominance. But let's start off from right at the top. Fornaroli. Now, in that first game against Central Coast Mariners, he was coming into that false 9 position time and time again. I didn't see him do it as much last week against Wellington, and today he's not doing it as much as all. He can't just stand there. He's not the physical type of big player who can stand there and always just take the ball, okay? He's diminutive, he's very, very sharp and all that, but he's going to be the one who can take up, if you like, the Castro role and keep coming into that position. When I say false 9, if people don't know what that means, that means between the lines, so between Adelaide's defence and their midfield, right? D'Agostino, for me, when I watched him, especially with the Olympic team, this is a fantastic talent. He needs to be given free rein to do what he feels is right. He's obviously hasn't started games yet, so he's still getting his match sharpness, but the management, Popovic and his staff need to say to him, son, you are absolutely devastating when you play really, really well. You do what you actually think that you need to do. Okay, then we've got Christian Popovic who's actually doing well. Kilkenny needs to get involved. You see when he gets involved and he's a bit of an, like a conductor of an orchestra.
True.
Okay, he needs to push a little bit further forward. But one day he's going to have a very important role because, like I said, I'd like them to see they go back to 4 at the back, and he's going to have to be the one that's going to have to track those runners that are going to come from deep. So his job will be just to do that, number one, because if they concede another goal, forget about it. This could be a cricket score. And number 2, to get the ball and give it to the other players. Now, Dane Ingham has been fantastic since the start.
Yep.
Meredith has actually done okay in the first half as well. He's going to have to give them license to go forward. They're going to have to gamble a bit here if they want to get back in the game. Or There's the other option as well, and I've had this before in my career where coaches have just turned around and said, look, listen, let's just make sure this doesn't get embarrassing. I hope he goes for the latter option, the first option, and try to get back into this game, because I do believe
Papa, he'll do that.
Well, you don't know. I'm not in that dressing room. I'm not in that dressing room. But, you know, you saw as they walked off, their heads were down and all that. This is where, like I said, you've got to say to them, you're going to have to install that belief in them that we can get back into this game. As for Adelaide, well, if I was Carl Vitt, I wouldn't even go in there. I'd just turn around and just say, all right, just exactly the same. That's
Play
it.
on, boys.
That's it.
What a huge second half we do have coming up on the other side. Well, the youngsters from Adelaide United, they are impressing. Perth Glory with it all to do. Can they turn around this 4-1 deficit? We'll see you on the other side of this short break.
Speedy. Hey, Speedy. Hello, mate.
Tony Popovich is going to speak to us.
Oh, mate. Oh, well, yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah. He needs to defend himself.
1-2, 1-2.
You all right, Speedy? We good?
You can hear it? I'm hearing
all good.
How long on the break?
Welcome back to Bank West. Quite remarkable half-time scoreline. Adelaide United 4, Perth Glory 1. Tony Popovich reacting to that by changing the right side of his defence. Tarek Elrich replaces Tratt on the right side of the back three, and Ivan Franjic is the right wing back. As James Meredith has been withdrawn and Ingham has gone across to left wing back. So Tony Popovich identified the right side of his defence as a problem in that first half, leaking a lot of goals in that area. Does that sum it up for you as well, Robbie?
Yeah, I think there were a number of problems, and we talked about it just before half-time with that back three, just allowing Opseth and all those players to turn and run at them.
Perth, do they still believe they can turn things around here? Straight into the attacking third. Popovich to space for Ingham. Kept in by Strain, who's got a new assignment now. He saw James Meredith coming his way a lot in that first half. Now he's got Ingham to contend with. And Tony Popovich, has he found the words to try and turn things around against another former Crystal Palace coach in the opposition dugout? Carl Viet was at Palace about 5 years before Popovich turned up. Australians have a great association with that club, don't they, in London? Think of Mile Jedinak, Sean Murphy, Nick Carl, Craig Foster. Well into double figures, Socceroos who played for that club. McGree trying to get there, but it should be Reddy's ball this time.
And you're mentioning Carl Viet, full credit to what he's doing with this Adelaide side. They're playing a very attractive brand of football. Again, maybe an example of young Australian coaches being given a go.
Into a dangerous spot, but Adelaide United are playing that way a little bit, aren't they? Backing themselves to track the balls down. But here goes Ingham right through the middle. D'Agostino, the return ball wasn't really on. And from behind went Hyundai, prompting the whistle. Slowing things down, causes a bit of angst, and the referee has to get on top of things here. We were scheduled to speak to Tony Popovich at the start of the second half. Of course, that's arranged before the game, and he has politely declined our offer on that front, understandably. McGree, little back heel. Seen that before, haven't we? Not quite the Scorpion style. Certainly put him on the map a few years back now as a Newcastle Jet.
Riley McGree again with that run from midfield, looking to go beyond and getting behind the Perth central defenders. To see some of the Australian players and all the teams making their mark in this competition since it's been back, and Lachlan Book tonight, McGree, Gomulka. I'd say that, you know, Aussie kids maybe a little bit better than most fourth or fifth foreign players.
Well worked here by the Glory, cutting it back. Fornaroli trying to keep it alive, and it's that man Gomulka right on cue. And he took it away for his team. That looked like a really promising situation for Perth, but Popovich cut it back to the goal scorer that is Fornaroli. Clever play again by Popovich though, and Elsey gets it out of play.
Yeah, perfectly positioned, but he's not happy. Good openings to the second half from Perth Glory. Cut back, just too many red shirts there for Fornaroli to deal with that. This is a good ball from Popovich. In behind, he's trying to slide this one across. Just cut it back a little bit too much.
Ivan Franjic saying give it some elevation as well. Kilkenny delivers, looking for a near post flick on. And Opseth doing it at both ends with his head. Kilkenny delivers on the left, straight to Elsey. We'll get it again. And no nonsense stuff from the red centre half. Popovich heavily involved. Can't quite get it past the last man in the line. Adelaide United look to go the other way, but Elrich in the road, breaking things up, as he's done so often throughout his illustrious A-League career.
Yeah, and he didn't stay central. Franjic was caught up high and sliding across to pick up Haller, and that wasn't happening in the first half.
You would have been in games with similar scorelines at half-time. Often the second half can be completely different, can't it?
It can be.
Sometimes the goal scoring can stop.
Yeah.
And from Adelaide United's perspective, of course, they'd take that.
Well, it's on Perth to push forward, and you get so much pace, Adelaide, that obviously in transition will have to be concentrated. Perth Glory. Yeah, it's not a good scoreline to go in 4-1.
What about from Carl Veert's perspective? What do you think his message would have been?
More of the same, quite simply. Concentration. I did go in a game, I was 5-1 down actually. Half-time talk with Graham Souness. I got a midfielder sent off. And
You didn't come back, did you?
yeah, well, I said to him at half-time, I said, well, I'm playing like two men out there. And he said, yeah, and you're both having a nightmare.
You played under some managers with some good one-liners. Harry Redknapp and Graham Souness. Eltel.
Yeah.
You do some
Was a
good
catalyst for a lot
impersonations.
of those Australian players going to Crystal Palace, of course.
Already launches it long. Agostino rises. Elsie over the top of him. Here's Gamulka trying to get the quick feet going. One day took it away. Fornaroli peels into space. Kilkenny delivers. Can Fornaroli dish up here? Bruno opens up the angle. Body's in the road again. Franjic charged down by Mork, who follows up and charges down Kilkenny.
And that's super defending from Adelaide. And Fornaroli, that was destined maybe for the top corner.
Great adjustment. Was that inside or outside? Stephen Lucas, well positioned, says it's outside. And a free kick and no penalty. It was a close run thing.
Yeah, definitely outside. Stephen Moore catches him right there.
No yellow card, just a foul. Don't see too many free kicks from this part of the field.
I wonder if Kilkenny will go for a strike here. Whip it towards that far post.
Had a little glance at Izzo there. And a cat and mouse between those two. What will Kilkenny deliver? Drives it in low, and Fornaroli couldn't get the first time flick he was after. I mentioned the banter on the pre-game website material from the Perth Glory about Kilkenny's delivery, but did the players have a point? What have you made of his service so far tonight?
Well, certainly he's mishit that one. There's no doubt about that. But apart from that, I don't think that's the thing we're pointing to. Defending set pieces would be more accurate as the problem in that first half. You see, Fornaroli always wants to do this. You know he's going to cut back. It's very hard, even though you know he's going to do it, it's very hard to stop it. Plenty of bodies there. Jordan Elsie being one.
Kenny. Air time as he switched things up all the way through to Ingham. Now Fornaroli ignored the overlapping run of Alex Grant. United hanging with a flat five at the moment. To defend what they have, hit on the counter when applicable. the team in red. And back to Grant. Used a couple of teammates as a decoy. Alex Grant trying to make things happen. Another throw given up. Trying to weave his way through, and a bit of desperation in that clearance from young Brook, who was amongst the goal scorers in that stunning blitz late in the first half. Ball won't leave that side of the pitch.
No, it's stuck on that left-hand side for Perth.
Adelaide United's 4 goals coming in the space of 18 minutes. And there was time for Popovic to pull one back during that period as well. Fanic held on. Kilkenny wanted one rolled in behind. And get it here via Elrich. Nice to see the ball a bit closer to home for us in the commentary box.
And Tarek Elrich and Ivan Francis, they can rotate quite easily because they can both play either positions. Elrich has played a lot right wing back.
Elrich needed to get there. Adelaide United were swarming, ready to launch the counter. Look how it's tightening things up on the ladder. Stand by. We'll get back to that in a moment. Opseth has played in Brook again. Gets it back onto his left foot. And it was a poor finish in the end. He had a teammate to play in if he wanted to.
Super ball from Opseth, and it's his first touch that let him down. It's almost like he had too much time.
That'll be going in the scouting report for other A-League defenders that Lachlan Brook wants to get back onto his left boot, Robbie.
And that's where, you know, in that situation, he's just got to back himself. If it falls on his right, he's still one-on-one. How many scuff shots do you see ending up goals? There's the touch that lets him down and allows Malik to come back and defend. And defended it well, he did.
Here's Brook getting his head up.
He's very left-footed, isn't he? I tell you what, it's a good left peg, though.
Well, there aren't many left-footers who aren't all left foot.
Very true. Very true. One of the best, from an Australian perspective, left-footed players who was pretty handy with his right was Harry Kuehl.
Yep, scored some stunning goals on his right. Better ones on his left.
Yeah, definitely.
What a catalogue of top 10 goals here.
Yeah, it's not a bad show, really, is it? It's which ones to leave out.
Yeah. The Arsenal goal, the Sheffield Wednesday goal, two of my favourites. Harry probably watching on. He loves his football, keeps abreast of everything. Change being prepared by both teams. That's a clever turn. Fauna rolling into the area and back out just as quickly. Good scrap on the edge of the area. Popovic playing a good game. Tees up Hyundai into the back of Jakobsen. He gave up on that a little, Ingham, confident that the corner was going to come.
And that was travelling. Another block from an Adelaide player. Good first touch, set it up for the hit. Adelaide plenty of bodies. Yeah, really good first touch. And that was travelling. See Izzo already moving to his right-hand side.
Kilkenny again. Gamulka was devastating with his delivery from this same corner in that first half. Variation this time. Popovic drifts one in for Grant to attack. Where will do for Halloran. And they held off on those substitutions because of the set piece, but now they come. And that's Neil Kilkenny's final contribution. He's going to be replaced by Jake Brimmer in midfield. Tony Popovic perhaps turning attention to a game against the Western Sydney Wanderers next up at this venue, keeping Neil Kilkenny in cotton wool. And there is Pacific Nyongabiri, the brother of Elvis Kamsoba. Playing at this venue on back-to-back nights, the brothers. Kamsoba here last night with the victory, and here's Nyongabiri straight into the action. Brimmer likewise found D'Agostino. Is he back on side? Doesn't matter now. One day's ball is going to go out of play, and Fornaroli was worried about prompting a flag if he did chase it. Now they take them on. They play out from the back with a 4-1 lead. Perth were ready and waiting for it. Alex Header, a good one. Agostino that time was a little tardy in an offside position. Here go the Reds. That touch is a better one, and they're away.
Yeah, that's what Halloran will be thinking. He has a better touch there, and he's away. 3-on-3. Adelaide been defending for most of this, just over 16 minutes of this second half, but it's them that have produced the best chance.
Yeah, that was for Brook, put through by Opseth. There's Kiddo, plenty of space ahead of him if he can negotiate D'Agostino, and he can. Jakobsen open the scoring with a header. Izzo, what about that distribution? Found the chest of Opseth, who couldn't quite link up with McGree. Mark Bosnich, what are you making of this second half? No goals to match what we saw in the first half just yet.
Not just yet, no, but once again, just like the first half, the first 10 to 15 minutes has been all Perth, but Adelaide, they've soaked up the pressure very, very well. Now, Robbie just made the point, is exactly right, that the best chance of the half has still fallen to Adelaide. It just goes to show, regardless of the control that you have in between the two boxes, games are decided in both boxes, being that no matter how much possession you have is what you do with it. Now, Perth are really going for it. They obviously still believe, and Tony Popovich wants them to get back in it. And I wouldn't be too panicking. A lot of people say, oh, you should have scored in the first 10 minutes. I've been in a game once before when I was winning 4-1 with 15 minutes to go and the team come back to 4-4, so it can happen.
Nyongabiri, big chance, and scores! He's only been out there for a couple of minutes. There's the celebration. Elvis has been promising, and Pacific Nyongabiri provides it instead ahead of his brother in his second A-League game. What an excitement machine.
Well, the quality of the celebration matches the quality of the finish, and they get opened up. Kiddo with a forceful run. He just takes it off his feet, checks inside. Not much blame on Reddy. I know he's beaten near post, but he's hit that with some power. That is brilliant. Nyongabiri, super finish. Confidence, full of confidence. And what about this, the celebration? And that touch, almost instantaneously, he hits it after taking that last touch, bringing it inside. That's a really good finish. And that's a very good celebration.
We saw the celebration from his brother Elvis, but it was taken off him in round one in the derby, of course. The goal didn't count. Offside flag and VAR and all that, but there's no VAR taking this one away.
Well, remember this name, Nyongabiri. Wow. Wow.
Don't you love it? The ball was behind him. He said, I'm having that.
He took it off Kiddo's feet. And of course, if it doesn't come off, Kiddo's probably filthy, but take a bow. Brilliant.
Now you start thinking about Perth's biggest ever losses. 6-0 against Sydney FC about 3 years ago now. 5-0 against the Mariners. They're in a 5-1 hole right here. And that's livened up the second half. Hyundai scooping it out to Fornaroli.
Well, they basically had two attacks, Adelaide, and they've scored with the second one. And they probably should have scored Lachlan Brook with the first. Now, there's the national coach, and Gary Van Egmond, of course, is the young Socceroos coach, both with vast experience. And I wonder what they're making of this. Seeing all this young talent.
It's often been lamented the lack of game time for Australians under the age of 20 in any leagues. But, they're certainly getting a good crack at it right now during this little period. Of course, Elvis Kamsova has represented Burundi, the brother of Nyongabiri.
Look at the energy. It's Mork and McGree, two midfielders chasing that ball. That is directly down to the conditions. But go back to Mark Bosnich's excellent comment. It's not what happens in between the boxes, it's what happens in those two boxes that decides a game of football. And Carl Robinson, the Newcastle coach, said that after his team put on a fairly commanding performance against the Central Coast Mariners. In respect to the way they played, it was very attractive, but he said after the game, he said, well, yeah, that's all well and good, but the game was decided in the two boxes and they weren't good enough in the box that mattered for them that evening.
The Perth teammates went for the same ball. Popovic has been pretty handy in the losing team tonight. Slipped out of the equation that time. Gamulka goes quickly to Opseth, who just holds things up to his pace, doesn't he? Great composure, the big Norwegian hold-up man.
Well, Opseth, the Norwegian, as you said, is showing his talent now, because we didn't see nearly enough of it. Then you had the COVID-19 break and he's come back firing on all cylinders. It's not only the goals he scored, 3 and 3, but it's the way he's holding the ball up, the way he's bringing his midfielders into play. Very important when you've got running midfielders like McGree, Mork to a slightly lesser extent, that you've got someone that can hold the ball up to give them time to run from deep.
Agostina has been waiting in the wings the past 2 games. Has he made enough of the start granted to him by Popovic?
Well, we haven't seen much of him.
Like to see more of this guy. Skips over the challenge of one day and keeps on going. Nyongabiri. Lovely pass. Couple of options there, McGree and Opseth, and now they're just the step overs and all the tricks are coming out from the Reds. Chance for Mork, just eluded him, and Elrich able to head it clear. They're in the mood for more, the Reds. They've racked up an 8-1 before against the Fury, you may remember, and a 7-0 at home to the Jets, but they're doing it in Sydney tonight against the Glory. And McGree now. Mork presented short. Let's give it to this guy again, who tried the trick on Franjic. Kiddo, little 1-2, and not a bad idea, but if he cut it back to Opseth's left boot, it would have flashed into top corner.
I think Opseth thought about going, and then he checked back looking for a cutback, and Kiddo, by that time, he's got his head down and he couldn't readjust. It's super play against Adelaide, full of running. And it's not only running and energy, there's a fair dose of quality in their football this evening.
Saw Tony Popovic a moment ago point to his head and say, are you guys switched on out there? Or something to that effect, Mark Bosnich. Are you picking up anything with the eavesdropping on what's upsetting him most?
Absolutely nothing at all. Just concentrating on this game and then watching this wonderful Adelaide side. And look, a lot of credit must go to Carl Veart. I am biased, I admit. He was an ex-teammate of mine in the Olympic Games in 1992. But the way that they've played since they've come back, there have been patches in the first 2 games. But in this game, it's been some really entertaining and really lovely football. And that goal by Nyongabiri was absolutely fantastic. And he told me the other night, I think I actually brought it up, you know, in this squad, 15 players from South Australia as well. But it's really enterprising and it's devastating football.
And former Socceroos teammates as well, these two. First time they played together, June 1995 in Adelaide. Carl Veart scored the winner. Robbie Slater, of course, part of that equation in that era. Oh, here's a chance. Just eluded Fornaroli, who's now trying to nudge underneath Izzo. And got back to his feet sharpish. That's what D'Agostino
So
can
close.
do.
Yep, so close.
Gives the speeds the one to chase. Elrich summed it up pretty well. Inside the final 20 minutes, what can Perth take out of this game ahead of their next contest against the Wanderers? This venue, Western Sydney, will be desperate for victory. They probably would have been cheering on Perth tonight. Instead, it's Adelaide United who's putting a bit of breathing room between themselves and the chasing pack. Here's a well-worked routine down that left-hand side, and Grant's tried to pull it back near post. Izzo covering his angles. Alex Grant looks among the most likely right now for the Glory. He's having a good crack, isn't he, Bozza?
Sorry, Speedy, I didn't quite get that.
Alex Grant is at least having a crack getting forward.
Well, he is, and to be fair to Perth, they're keeping going, and a lot of less teams with less character would not do that. But they're going to have a big issue to pick themselves up for the rest of this little mini tournament, as I call it, because regardless of how you played, 5-1 is 5-1. As simple as that.
Gabby Popovich being prepared right now, the 16-year-old striker. What a first touch it was from Pacific Nyongabiri, or first significant contribution at least.
100%. Absolutely brilliant. Not sure what I enjoyed most, the goal or the celebration.
There was an open runway, he found it, didn't he, to cap it all off. Not many would have expected he to be the brother to score in the A-League first. And Elvis has had so many games now to try and break his duck. Younger brother, Nyongabiri, coming off the bench to score in game number 2. Now Franjic whipping one in. Fornaroli, little stumble in the defence has opened the avenue for Bruno Fornaroli to pull one back, and they're thinking, you know what, there's still time for 3 more.
Was a great finish, but a little bit too easy if you look at the Adelaide defenders. So it's a ball sort of clipped in and he slips there, and it gives Fornaroli, and you can't give him that time. He cushions the ball. First touch sets it up, and then through the defender's legs with an expert and clinical finish from Bruno Fornaroli. He doesn't celebrate, he just says, right, let's get back.
He tends to find a way against Adelaide United. That is 7 in 10 against tonight's opponent. Sadly, it looks like Gamulka is going to limp his way off here. Or was he just putting on a bit of a show? He's going to be replaced like for like by Luis Dorigo, but he's taken his spot, and hasn't he done it well?
Can be proud of his performance and all of his performances so far. And Luis Dorigo, who was very much the man in charge of that position, comes on. An important time. Perth have just scored. They're still comfortable 5-2. But they don't want Perth to get another one. Important the next 5 minutes. Can Perth lift their tempo, their intensity, and take a bit of momentum with that second goal? Just
waiting for shoelaces to be tied up. Stephen Lucas just pointing out that time will be added on. Not that they ever use a stopwatch or anything of that nature. They just use that for dramatic effect and pluck a figure out of the air at the end, Robbie. And hope they've nailed it somewhere in the middle. Kiddo down the line. Great range on that pass. Opseth let it get away though. So they had to start on the Gold Coast against Brisbane on resumption. Adelaide United got an early goal there, held on for 3 points. Take on a flying Wellington. Hold them to a 1-1 draw, and now they're bossing Perth. Mork leaves a couple in his wake in midfield. Strain wants it played in behind. Back post delivery. Opseth was getting there. Important header again by Elrich.
Yeah, very good defending from Elrich. Sensed that danger and tracked Opseth's run.
Only been out there for a couple of minutes and he's already in the book. Luis Dorigo for tangling and holding back Fornaroli. Later exchanged a low 5. And Bruno Fornaroli will take his leave. He's just scored a goal. They've brought it back to 5-2, but he can now focus on that Wanderers game. As Carlo Armiento, a former Adelaide United player who made the switch between these clubs a few months ago when he was getting no opportunities under Hertjan Verbeek. It's a late chance to show what he's got. Provided a very famous assist as an Adelaide United player to seal that remarkable comeback last season in a 7-goal thriller. Here he is on the ball. And a little careless by Ingham. Slaps his hands in frustration. Dorigo. Kiddo. Nyongabiri worked hard to present an option down the line. He's turning Elrich this way and that. Receives again. And keeps it alive for Kiddo. He's just got that dynamic surge of speed when he needs it, doesn't he? Look at Halloran. Forcing Armiento back. Played it well enough, though, and now they're a chance to surge forward. The team in white tonight. Armiento, little ball inside, and nice angle, just overhit.
Yeah, just overhit. Too much weight on that pass. He's trying to take a bit of the sting out of the game.
Nyongabiri flies to keep it in. Riley McGree is surging. He's got Nyongabiri inside now. Little stumble in the defence. We've seen that cost a few players tonight. Lose your footing for just that half second, and you're in a bit of bother. Intended for Opseth. Did you see Carl Viet as the coaching type when you were a teammate of his?
Not really. He was very quiet. Very quiet, Carl, but he's certainly making his mark, and of course he's much more mature. He's been there for a long time now.
By quiet, do you also mean no ego?
Definitely no ego. And a very, very good player. Very quick, very direct. Good goal scorer as well.
Poked away by Nyongabiri. And here he is, released by Opseth. Uses McGree. Riley McGree showed too much of it. Then the tangle. It's play on for Riley. And the step over didn't quite come off.
Well, they had almost too many players there. And they were just a little bit flat-footed.
Ingham launching the other way. And Jakobsen summed it up very quickly against Popovic. Inside the final 10 minutes. Very high-scoring game at Bank West. Dominated by Adelaide United, who needed to win tonight. What a performance they have delivered. Another header one. Mullock kept it away as Opseth was trying to leave it from McGree. Brimmer open up the pitch towards Franjic, who's pushing forward now. Jakobsen again able to steer it clear. Franjic forced away from goal, able to find an avenue back via Brimmer. Around Kiddo, who tangles. Referee turns that one down. Now gives it. He got a tip from his assistant. They talked it over, and in communication they say spot kick, and they're still in it, you know.
Yeah, look, I thought, looking at it, I thought that's a penalty. He's got to be close to it because he's all over him, Ryan Kiddo, and he doesn't need to be. There's plenty of contact. There's contact there, and then he comes into the back of him, and there's no need. There's plenty of red shirts there. Wow. Penalty to make it 5-3. Extraordinary.
No Fornaroli out there. No Neil Kilkenny out there. It's up to Hyundai against Izzo. The Spaniard sends Izzo the wrong way. It's back to 5-3 with 8 minutes to go. We have the joint highest scoring game of the season, and there's still time to improve on that.
Well, you said it, no Fornaroli, no Kilkenny, but Hyundai keeps his head, keeps his cool. Here's a replay, clear penalty for me. Brimmer's in front of him, you can't be challenging from the back. That's a perfect pen in the corner. Izzo going the right way, he has a look at the keeper. And well, like you said, 5-3.
First goal of the season and second of his career down under for Hyundai. And Adelaide United going to their bench. There'd be a standing ovation right now if there was a crowd here. There's Christian Opseth among those being withdrawn. Riley McGree takes his leave as well. Blackwood and the youngster Toure will provide the fresh legs.
Outstanding game from both these two coming off. Opseth and Riley McGree. But they've still got a bit of work to do. They've still got a 2-goal cushion. Calvert will be saying, thank goodness we went 5-1 up.
Always exciting to see the Toure boys out there on the pitch. Hassan Toure out injured at the moment. Mohamed Toure, the A-League's youngest ever goal scorer, in the number 49 shirt. Here goes Grant again. He has refused to give up, and eventually his teammates came along for the ride. Armiento, gee, he's got a lovely left boot as well. They were lavishing praise on young Brooks' left boot earlier on. Armiento, he can deliver. Now Franjic. Teasing one, takes the keeper out of play. And Blackwood back to lend a hand.
And happy just to clear the danger. Alex Grant, that was good play from him from centre up. Just took it upon himself to eat up the metres in front of him, to put Perth right on the front foot.
United taking their time. Screen eventually to a one-on-one, and Blackwood just got rid of his man and keeps on going. He's got Nyongabiri on the move against Elrich. Does he take him on? He does. Turns the corner, does he? No, Elrich sticks to his guns against the much younger man. Well done, Tarek
Yeah,
Elrich.
well played both. Positive from the attacking player, and of course, Tarek Elrich not diving in and stayed right with him. Super ball from Blackwood outside of the boot.
Wear and tear on the voice, Robbie. You've been down on the sideline too often. That cold air getting to you.
I had to have a 20-minute hot shower when I got home last night to thaw out.
Corner whipped in by Dorigo. On the edge of the area, Halloran could have gone anywhere in amongst all those bodies in the middle. Good strength shown by Brimmer, refusing to go down. Mork shoving him this way and that. Eventually gifted the ball, and Brimmer said, I'm not having that.
And then Brimmer's thinking he's the one that got fouled. I must admit, I did think that there was probably a foul. He had 3 goes, Stefan Mork, and Brimmer took the law into his own hands. It's exactly what Adelaide need. They just need to play the game out from here, slow it down when they can, keep the ball down this end.
We heap praise on Gamulka's delivery. I tell you what, Dorigo's corner a moment ago wasn't bad. Here he is again. Great shape on that too, and the header, the keeper was stranded. Toure couldn't keep his header down, so goal kick, and gives us a chance to go down to Tara Rushton.
We haven't been able to take a moment. What a contest this is, gents, and what an outstanding performance from Pacific Nyongabiru. We've spoken about him. He's the younger brother of Elvis Kamsoba, who, of course, plays for Melbourne Victory. You might ask, why do Elvis and Pacific have different surnames? And, well, the answer to that is in Burundi culture, you can mix up the names between your mum or your dad. So culturally, some take their father's name and some take their mother's name.
And that would have provided a lovely explanation for those on the couch at home, wondering why that was the case. And it's a lovely tradition as well, isn't it? I wonder if they'll both become Burundi internationals. He's already played in the African Cup of Nations, has Elvis. Look at Arnie Ntego, what a talent. Didn't get much of a looking under Hirchin Verbeek. He was always sitting alongside us up in the commentary box at Hindmarsh. I would look over and see Carlo Ambiento there, and I was wondering why he wasn't amongst the substitutes. Still wondering now, offside flag here. And it's Popovic. Carlo Ambiento was with Adelaide United. He's an Adelaide boy. Had to go to Perth to get opportunity.
Well, not knowing the situation as he didn't, he probably would have got to go if he had stayed, but he certainly looks good. And another young player showing that given a chance.
Toure left it for Blackwood to attack late. And Malik did his part. Here's Armiento again. Ingham. Hyundai. Nice little move. Got past Mork pretty comfortably. There's white shirts on this right-hand side if you can work it that way. Mr. Armiento instead tricks his way to a free kick he thought. Stephen Lucas said, there's the ball, go and fetch it. And he's still asking why that wasn't a foul.
And from up here it looked like a foul, and it was.
I'll ask the referee to look up at the big screen to check the replay himself on this night, but with no crowds, no need for the big screen to keep everyone informed. Liam Reddy was talking about that the other day, saying that he couldn't even see any clocks to be aware of how much time was left in the game. The only time they get a real feel for it is when they see the fourth official put the board up with how many minutes of stoppage time there'll be. And we're not too far away from seeing that. United into game management mode. Ryan Strain certainly taking a lot of time with his throws. A little slip from Toure may have cost him a half chance there. Or rather, Nyongabiru. There's the slip from Toure. Communication from Jakobsen called Dorigo out of it. Another slip.
He's slipping all over.
The Jews kicking in all of a sudden. Not a night for changing direction. 4 minutes is the answer. to how much is being added on here. It's going to be tough to track down. It's overhit by North.
Yeah, right idea. He's done that quite often tonight as a bouncer. Offered himself up and first time pass away. Good game from him as well, Stefan Moore. Well, quite simply, Adelaide haven't had a bad player, but Calvert will have something to look at. It's great to get the 5 goals, and the way they've played at times has been breathtaking, but they've conceded 3. So there's still stuff to look at. And Perth to pick themselves up as well after this.
Elrich and Franjic able to combine here. Once more. Poked away by Nyongaberi. He's winning so many of those 50-50s. Now Toure, a chance to stretch out. Works his way past Mullock. He's got teammates inside the area. Mohamed Toure lifts it. Just too much for Blackwood. And they cap it off and make it game, set, match with a 6-3 scoreline. Good scrapping. Popovic running out the game strongly. Great sign for a teenager. Shielding it away from Moore. He'll take the ticket.
I'll tell you what, Popovic has had a fine game in a losing side. He doesn't complicate his game. He plays it simple. Plays that role well. Got himself a goal as well. At that point, really got Perth back into the game.
Third booking for an Adelaide United player. Franjic. Headed clear by Strain. Tangle between Blackwood, who looked to be holding back his man. Perth maintained possession anyway. Now Brimmer. Armiento plays it out off Strain. Should be a Perth throw. 90 seconds. The clock very much in Adelaide United's favour now, but they open the door a little from 5-1 up. Punched by Popovic to Franjic. Adelaide United sending out a warning to 2 of the top teams, Melbourne City and Sydney FC, who are next in line for them to close out their regular season. And this 3 points could be massive in terms of a top 6 spot. Franjic. Stumble and a chance for a late one again for Perth. It was a tame finish by Ingham, not living up to his recent standards. And Toure can go the other way in the final minute. Held up by Hyundai.
That was a great chance, wasn't it? A slip from an Adelaide defender. Ball across the box. Actually, it's not a slip. The defender backed off. And a free hit. Didn't catch it right.
What a night for Adelaide United. It was must win for them at Bankwest, and they have done it in some style. Pacific Nyongaberi among the goal scorers, and a celebration that will be going viral around the world right now. 5 different goal scorers. Jakobsen joined the party, the central defensive partner of that man Jordan Elsey. Lachlan Brook, the teenager, scored his first A-League goal. Opseth was again on target with his 4th in 5 games. Ben Halloran, with the aid of a deflection on the stroke of half-time, made it 4-1. And Perth, a couple of late goals for Neroli with 16 minutes to go, and then Hyundai from the spot, but in the end it was all in vain. Full time, Adelaide United 5, Perth Glory 3. Let's go down to Tara.
Thanks, Brenton Speed. How impressive was that, Mark Bosnich, watching from the sideline? An 8-goal fest, 8 goals scored in the end there, but fantastic from an Adelaide United perspective. They played well.
They did. They played very well. There's no doubt about that. Where they were devastating is in the moments that mattered. But from a Perth perspective, you're looking at it, they weren't that bad. But they'll look back upon making some silly mistakes and realise that you can't give goals away just like they did willy-nilly. And they'll be very, very happy in the fact that it's very difficult to take positives when a result goes like this against you. But the fact that they kept going and they kept going and they kept going. But Adelaide, especially